Hello and welcome back to another Walk and Talk Wednesday. We're joined by another student. So without further ado, let's get the conversation started. Would you like to introduce yourself?
So I'm Max Maddox. I'm the first team captain of the men's hockey team this year. I've been at Coventry University. This is my fourth year, and I'm doing mechanical engineering, but I did it with a placement year, so I'm just finishing my bachelor's now in my fourth year.
Okay. First question we always ask: whereabouts you walking?
I'm currently walking around Charterhouse Fields, so I'm in Coventry, but they're quite empty usually and quite quiet, and quite picturesque as well. So let's see what happens.
Oh, good. That's good. Well, enjoy your walk, and hopefully it's a bit warmer than last time. Last time we were out on the first one, it was out in the snow, so at least we've got better weather today.
Less slippy underfoot.
Yeah, good to hear. So tell me a little bit more about yourself. You say you've just done you're on your fourth year and you had a placement year. How have you found your degree?
I've really enjoyed it. It's been a lot to it, a lot of different modules and different stuff that I've had to try and do, mix of group projects and individual projects. So it's really good. Did my placement year down in Southampton at an aviation company, which was something a bit different, a bit more manufacturing and not mechanical to my degree. So it was a bit different, but I really enjoyed it, and I've got a graduate scheme there next year. So
okay, fantastic.
Gone quite well, I think.
Oh no, congratulations! That's brilliant. How did you find that kind of exposure into, for want of a different word, like the real world or the outside world of other than university? How did you find that first year of it?
Yeah, it was different. It was very different. It was very, very structured, less independent, but still a high workload. It's just a very different workload. It's less individually led. You have more hoops that you'd have to jump through almost for projects you're on. There's more stuff that needs to be signed off and needs to go through higher up stakeholders rather than just you there writing a project and going, yeah, that works. So it was very different, but I'm excited. It should be fun.
Yeah, well, it's good exposure, isn't it? And it's nice to get that so early on, isn't it? Really. I had a placement similar when I was at university, and it was just nice to get a test and a taste and sort of see how it felt. And obviously the university side, that sounds like you've got your hands full, but sport as well sounds like you've got a full schedule there. What's that look like?
Yeah, well, this year's a bit different, but my first 3 years, so first and second year. First year I just turned up loving hockey already, joined the hockey team, had a great year. Then second year I captained the Saturday team in the local Saturday leagues here in its first ever year, which was a new challenge to try and pull off, but that went quite well. We didn't get relegated.
Could you explain the difference for the uneducated amongst us, myself included? What's the main difference between the Saturday and the Wednesday leagues?
So the Wednesday leagues is all against university teams. So you just play against other universities, probably local because of the way the leagues are done. But the Saturday leagues is more the 40-year-old blokes who still want to play hockey on Saturdays. So we were one of the few university teams in our area to have that league. I think there were two others in the area we played against. So it's a bit different. It's a bit different style of hockey. It's a bit slower, more about hit the ball at the goal rather than try and play it around the team. But it was different. It was a challenge. We had to liaise with the league a lot about, like, when pitches freeze, we had to try and rearrange all the matches. So it was a bit different not going through the SU and doing it all ourselves.
And how did you find that as a club? Did you take on a lot of responsibility there in your role as captain?
I took on a lot of the responsibility of contacting the other teams and making sure that we weren't clashing colours, and just contacting. Just walked up a massive hill and a bit out of breath.
We'll get onto your lockdown fitness in a minute then, by the sound of things.
But yeah, it was a lot of just weekly. I had to create a team sheet, organise the team, travel for the team, make sure we got there each week, and then teas afterwards, a bit of food. Trying to arrange that every week.
Nice. Well, it sounds
a new challenge at the time, but yeah,
Yeah, it sounds a challenge to get anything off the ground. They always are, aren't they? Something new is you've always got to get a bit of buy-in from people, and getting two teams out. Well, not two teams out. There's obviously more teams if you include obviously women's and second teams and etc. So getting multiple teams out during a week is a good task. So you've already alluded to it. You're tired from walking up a hill. I can't imagine 6 months or a year ago you would have been tired from walking up a hill if you're playing 2 games of hockey a week potentially. What's that all about? Is the fitness struggling in lockdown?
It's weird. I've been doing a lot of fitness. So I've just been running every day. So as the hockey club, we do a summer Strava challenge where
Fantastic.
we try and do we give out rewards we give points. So like running is 4 points a mile, cycling is 1 point a mile, walking is 2, and hiking is 3.
Brilliant.
So we do that as a reward, and you get like discount off kit or your membership. So over the first lockdown, which feels like a long time ago now, we did that. So I managed to do like 400 miles over the summer run.
Wow, that's pretty impressive.
So that involved me running every day for 3 months.
Fantastic.
So
well, what an advocate for getting moving. That's brilliant, and that's what
It's a different sort of fitness, though. So you just sort of plod along and get going.
Yeah.
So
go on. I was just gonna say, like you said, different sort of fitness. You've not got that stop-start or that kind of change of space, change of speed, change of tempo, which is a real challenge to adapt to. But I mean, that's fantastic that you guys are doing that already. Obviously, as part of this Brit 2021 challenge, we'll have a Strava group set up by now, which hopefully will be people putting their mileage in. And no, it's brilliant that you guys have done that off your back. Who came up with that initial idea, and how successful has it been?
I think it started last year with our president. I think it was Max Wilkinson.
Yeah.
He's the one who pushed for it, I think, and managed to get it through. But we've carried it over to last summer as well. And I reckon it will keep on going because it's a very good off-season activity when you're all in separate locations as well around the country. You still manage to have a little competition by looking at the leaderboard each week.
Yeah, it's nice, isn't it? And it's different types of competition. There's many levels, isn't there? It's
not direct competition. It can be, you just look at the final number. You don't each have to run the same distance. You can, if you want to go for a big cycle, it's not that much of a stress that you can't then compete with them still. So it's able to vary up your exercise whilst also still staying in touch with each other.
No, that's fantastic. That's great that you guys have come up with those ideas, and hopefully you can use some of those numbers in this Brit 2021 challenge that we're doing at the moment. So how have you found lockdown then as an individual or as a club, however you feel you want to talk about it? Because obviously you've got both hats on. You've got the captain of the club, and you've also got yourself as an individual. How have you found it?
Yeah.
Or how have you found this period?
Being captain this year is a bit of a different one. There's less of the usual tasks that are needed, but there's more unexpected ones that are happening. So we're in the process now, me and the second team captain, organising a men's Zoom social, because we used to be quite social as a club.
Yeah.
So we're just trying to organise something now as a new year starter where we can just all sit in our living rooms, have a beverage, and then just have a chat and catch up, because it's been a while since, was it October last time, really?
Yeah. So, yeah, well, you guys, you were one of the lucky groups who got back, didn't you? You were able to, how many training sessions? About 4 or 6 training sessions, something like that?
I think it was 3 or 4, yeah.
Yeah. So
at the end of last year.
Which is obviously brilliant, but then it's also a little bit like you got there and then you got it taken away for no one else's fault other than just where we are in the world. But it must have been quite a challenging time, like you said, or challenging start to the year, trying to get new people involved, and also then trying to keep an eye on them and help them throughout the season. Have you guys done anything anything else as a club, or found ways to sort of keep positive, keep the group motivated, keep them thinking about next year?
We try and do Zoom calls. We did some Zoom socials last year, especially.
Yeah.
But now we've had exams and everyone's over Christmas, so we might start them back up again. But we always try to keep in touch. I know there's a lot of social interaction outside of the club anyway, between club members, which I think always helps. A lot of people live with each other. That enables you to keep in contact as well.
Yeah, that's good to hear. And sorry, go on.
No, go on.
I was just going to say, I think sometimes people get too potentially caught up on it being formal, and the informal is equally as important. And like you said, if the structure's already there, if you live together, if you're friends, if you're having conversations with themselves or as groups or whatever, it's there, isn't it? It's naturally happening. Obviously, then you can put a few formal things in, like a social or a central meeting point to sort of get the wider group. But it sounds like you guys have got a good environment anyway, or a close-knit environment. And what about yourself? If
Always
you don't
been
mind me
quite
asking?
social. I don't want to say I've enjoyed it, but it hasn't been the worst, because when the lockdown came in November, it was coursework deadlines, revision. So it allowed me to focus quite heavily on uni work, which is a double-edged sword. It means I had nothing else to do, but it also meant that I ended up working probably the hardest I've worked since at uni, because I had so much time to do it.
Yeah.
But I mean, it's still, obviously I want to go out to the pub or meet up with mates, have a large kickabout or something, but it swings and roundabouts really. So it's not been the worst, but I'm getting a bit fed up now. Who isn't?
Yeah, I think that's where a lot of people are at. We spoke to Meg Varley on episode 1, and she was very similar. She said actually hasn't been that bad from a kind of, you just shift your priorities a little bit, don't you? Yeah. But the thing we kind of discussed is just how strange it is going from an active lifestyle. Like, were you playing 2 times a week, I imagine, training a couple of times a week?
3, 4
probably
times a week most times.
Going to the gym as well, if you chuck that in there, and then walking to university, all these kind of things, to then 9 to 5 you sit at home and you do, in your case, you do your lectures and stuff like that, and in my case I do my work, and it's very odd, isn't it? It's just, that's not the lifestyle we're used to as sportsmen and women, is it? So strange, but interesting to hear that you, in a funny kind of way, maybe as sportsmen and women, we're quite good at just adapting, and we shift our priorities and we go, okay, can't focus on that, but I will focus on this instead.
Make the most of what's given to us.
Yeah, and pour your energies. Yeah, which is a good mindset to have, I suppose. Any other thoughts and sort of take homes or learnings from this period of time you've been in over the last year or so?
Well, home workouts have become a big thing. So me and my housemates, a few of them are with hockey, and one of them's really into CrossFit. So we've sort of like just done kitchen workouts almost.
Brilliant.
Cleared everything away from our living room.
Yeah.
And just done a really odd looking workout, but it's a lot better than just sitting and doing nothing. So the improvisation of whatever that is, it's given a bit of a change, rather than just going out and plodding around the same 5k route every day. It's given a bit of variation, which has spiced it up a little bit, I suppose.
Yeah, that's good to hear. That's good to hear. Was that one of your housemates who's come up with that idea?
Yeah, Finley. He's quite a sporty fella as he is. He used to be a rugby player and then took up hockey when he started uni, and is now into CrossFit and functional fitness.
Interesting.
He's very
change.
well-rounded. Yeah.
Very well-rounded. Yeah, interesting change. So, what's your plans then moving forward? Obviously, finishing off your degree this year, all being well.
Hopefully.
I'm sure it'll go well. Have you got a lot to get in and get done, completed?
Yeah, I've got my individual dissertation and a group dissertation, and then another 20 credit module this year. Last year went okay, so hopefully this year can push for that higher grade.
Okay, that's good. And then did you say you've got a apprenticeship, was it, lined up for
grad
next
scheme.
year?
Yeah.
Grad scheme, apologies.
Yeah, graduate engineering leadership development. That'll be fun. Give that a go.
Welcome to the real world. I'm sure it'll be entertaining. And,
I'm a grown up now.
Yeah, I'm a grown up now. Mum, look, I'm a grown up. No, I'm sure it'll be entertaining, and I think, it'll be, as we just sort of briefly mentioned. I think the positives or the kind of attributes that sportsmen and women have will lend themselves to most roles, really, or most experiences, because I think there's got to be something to be said around if you're turning up to training when it's cold and dark and you don't want to be there and it's miserable. You're going to turn up to work and get going and get motivated and find ways to motivate yourself. And that's just one of many examples, isn't it? I mean, how do you feel the sport at universities kind of helped you develop, along with your 4 years of courses or 4 years of content?
Well, it's always been a good leveler almost. So if I've had a tough day of uni and I then see the people that I've played hockey with for 4 years now, it's always good because we know each other and we can talk to each other and communicate, and then you sort of let go of what the stress you've made from the day, and you're able to like talk to each other. And those friends are not even people I've known since first year. It's people who've come in last year who I've only known for a short amount of time.
Yeah.
But you're still able to talk to them and able to almost not distance yourself from it, but able to separate it and not let it weigh you down the entire time.
Yeah, that's nice to hear, because I mean, it's full on, isn't it? University can be quite full on with the commitments that you have from your course, but also just lifestyle, growing up, new experiences, away from home, whatever you want to call it, all those things can be quite challenging. So it's nice that you feel you got a support system. And what about, does the game give you that as well? Just the actual physical playing of the game, does that give you a release? Does that give you a sort of a switch off for however long a match lasts, or however long that time you're with your friends or training sessions? Does that work for you as well?
Sort of drop your focus on anything else and just focus on what's in front of you. If what is in front of you is the next training drill, the next half of a match, the next individual play, you sort of change all your focus from anything else onto that. So you're able to keep adapting to what's in front of you depending on the weather, on the day, how you feel, and just keep pushing on and get on with what is at that time most important to you, which is the game you're playing, really.
Yeah, so that's really nice to hear. I think a lot of people find that, don't they? Even like you said, the lockdown, going for a run, doing a bit of exercise in your house. If we go back to last year, playing actual sport, it's a great release, isn't it? A great opportunity, like you said, just to level the playing field, almost reset. I've got 60 minutes now where I don't think about work, I don't think about life, I don't think about all the scary stuff that's happening in the world. I just have a switch off. And that's lovely to hear that sort of it still has that for you. Because how long have you been playing sport? How long have you been playing hockey?
Playing hockey since 13.
Wow.
So long enough. But I've always been into sport. I was like a gymnast when I was like 6, and then moved on to different sorts of swimming, and then running, cross country, and then
brilliant
normal athletics, and then found hockey and sort of stuck with it.
Oh, fantastic. Well,
I'm still going.
No, that's brilliant. It shows that it's obviously something you care about and enjoy. And then wrapping this up so we don't get too cold. Have you got any questions for us before I throw a couple of questions at you? I say us as Sport Coventry, and I might be able to field the answers.
Well, that's a good question. I don't think I do, no.
Okay.
I mean, everything's been quite well communicated from Sport Coventry's point of view about what's been happening all this time. So there's obviously a lot up in the air, but I think the best that can be done has been done. So, I mean, I'm guessing there won't be any sport this semester, not even friendlies.
I think it's well. Firstly, thank you for the positive answer, and we'll pay you later. No, I'm only joking. Of course, but whether or not we have sport this year, I mean, I think it's probably going to sound a bit like a politician's answer. It's the environment's ever changing, isn't it? So I don't feel like we're necessarily in control of that destiny of if we can get people back on the pitch and back on the court. And I mean, I wish we could. I think as sports people, we see the importance of it, the ability to get out and get moving, and that healthy lifestyle, both the mental benefits and the physical benefits. My opinion, and this is my subjective opinion, this is not probably the opinion of the group or of Kusu. I think it'd be very unlikely if we do get back this year, unfortunately. Yeah. I hope we do, but I think it could be quite a challenge. But again, we'll probably do everything we can because we know the benefits and we know how important it is to you guys to try and get something off the ground, potentially at the end of this academic year. But yeah, going to be challenging. It really is going to be challenging for us. So a couple of quick questions just to leave people with. You can answer them as shortly or as sort of lengthily as you want. What's your why? What's your why? Why do you do sport? Why do you continue to do exercise during lockdown? Why do you do those horrible CrossFit sessions in your kitchen when no one wants to do it? What's your why? Why do you do it?
Because I enjoy it. Maybe not during. I may be hating it during it, but when you get to the end of it and you sit down and you're out of breath, and you're sweating and you're knackered, you're just there like, yeah, glad I did that, because it's better than if I would have just sat on the sofa for half an hour, where, like, how much further on would I be? I'd just be maybe another episode into a TV show or a few swipes down on Instagram. But yeah, I just feel at the end of it, even sometimes during it, if I'm out and about on a run and it's a lovely day, sun shining, no wind, which barely ever happens here, but I just feel good at the end of it that I've done something active and have pushed towards something that isn't just sitting still almost.
No, that's good to hear. The second question, and you can't say, well, I think I know what your first answer is going to be, and it's going to be going for a beverage. But what are you looking forward to most when you get back to playing sport and back to reality, back to being, obviously it might not be now with the university club, but it might be with your next hockey club. What are you looking forward to most?
I think it might have to be just the social aspect of it. Because when you're all at training, when there's 15, 20 of you all there, you're all sharing a common goal, you're all there for the same reasons. You're all on the same page, so it is just quite a nice environment to, even if it is to have fun, obviously it's to focus and play the game, but you are there to enjoy yourself at the end of the day. So I think that's what I'm most looking forward to at the end of all this.
Brilliant. Well, I think we'll leave that there because that's a great summary, and hopefully that's something we all get back to sooner rather than later. So massive thanks for your time today, Max. And it's been very insightful. We've not met before, so it's nice to learn a little bit more about yourself and get that kind of insight into your lifestyle as well. So thank you for your time. And yeah, well done for getting involved.
Cheers.